Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jalavalabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jalavalabha Girivaradari Yasudanandana Brajadaranta Yasudanandana Brajadaranta Yavana Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Gaura Premanande.
Jos joku tarvitsee käännöstä suomeksi, niin voin tuolla englannin kielellä. Voidaan kääntää tää.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. Very nice to see you all today. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter 13, verse 32. And we have it on the desk. Deva, so we can chant it together. Daivane sajitam tasya Samalam niraye puman Bhungte kutumba poshasya Hrita vita ivaturaha Daivina saditam tasya Shamalam niraye puman Bhunkte kutumba poshasya Hrita vita ivaturaha Daivina saditam tasya Shamalam niraye puman Bhunkte kutumba poshasya Rita vita ivaturaha
Daivena saditam tasya Shamalam niraye puman Bhukte kutumba poshasya Vita vita ivaturaha
A to jest
Daivena saditam tasya Shamalam niraye puman Bhukte kutumba poshasya Rita vita ivaturaha
Daivina saditam tasya Shamalam niraye puman Bhunkte kutumba poshasya Hrita vita ivaturaha.
Anteeksi, voisiko vanhemmat pitää huolta lapsista, ettei ne juokse täällä ympärinsä? Can please the parents take care of the children so that they would not run around here, please?
Okay, synonyms. Daivina, by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asaditam, obtained. Tasya, his. Shamalam, sinful reaction. Niraye, in a hellish condition. Puman, the man. Bhunkte, undergoes. Kutumba poshasya, of maintaining a family. Hrita vita, one whose wealth is lost. Iva, like. Aturaha, suffering. Translation. Thus, by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maintainer of kinsmen is put into hellish condition to suffer for his sinful activities, like a man who has lost his wealth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The example set herein is that the sinful person suffers just like a man who has lost his wealth. The human form of body is achieved by the conditioned soul after many, many births, and is a very valuable asset. Instead of utilizing this life to get liberation, if one uses it simply for the purpose of maintaining his so-called family and therefore performs foolish and unauthorized action, he is compared to a man who has lost his wealth and who, upon losing it, laments. When wealth is lost, there is no use lamenting. But as long as there is wealth, one has to utilize it properly and thereby gain eternal profit. It may be argued that when a man leaves his money earned by sinful activities, he also leaves his sinful activities here with the money. But it is especially mentioned herein that by superior arrangement, Daivena Saditam, although the man leaves behind him his sinful earned money, he carries the effect of it. When a man steals some money, if he is caught and agrees to return it, he is not freed from the criminal punishment. By the law of state, even though he returned the money, he has to undergo the punishment. Similarly, the money earned by criminal process may be left by the man when dying, but by superior arrangement, he carries with him the effect, and therefore he has to suffer hellish life. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunamiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And verse one more time. Devana saditam tasya shamalam niraye pavan bhunkte kutumba poshasya hrita vitta ivaturaha. Thus, by arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maintainer of kinsmen is put into a hellish condition to suffer for his sinful activities, like a man who has lost his wealth. Srimad Bhagavatam, in another verses, uses two epithets in relation to the human body. Adruvam and Arthadam. Adruvam indicates that the body is very vulnerable. So it's very easy to lose it. For example, there are some animals is very strong and with strong body and very hard skin, it's not easy to kill it. For example, we can remember these dinosaurs. It's practically impossible to kill them, Brain small like that, but body is very big. And there are some movies about how these dinosaurs, they became alive and people have very hard time to deal with it. Because it's very hard to kill it. But our body is very soft. You can pick to our body, with stick or something like that, and you can lose it. It's very easy to lose our body. Or even if your body are, in the whole, we can say it, but you have psychological problem, psychic problem, schizophrenia and something. Yeah, you have a body, but you don't have a consciousness. Your consciousness doesn't work properly. So they put your body in some special house for your safety and for safety of others. So it's very easy to lose this body. We don't have, thick skin, big fangs, strong claws. Our senses is not as strong as those of animals. Animal senses is much more stronger. For example, shark can feel a drop of blood in the water in the distance about 10 kilometers. Yeah, this type of body is very focused on blood and, on eating like that. And also wolves and animals like that, they can feel it. For example, dogs can feel your fear. And when you're fearing, then special pheromones, produced by your brain, and dogs can feel it. So dogs can feel when you fear of it, and then, dogs can bite you because you feel it. It's just instinct. So our senses is not as strong as those of animals. Our nose cannot sense the same variety of smells as dog's nose. Our ear is unable to hear the whole, gamma of sounds surrounding us, just like dogs do, for example. Therefore, those who hunting have a dog. Because hunter's senses is not so developed. So in other words, compared to animals, our senses are limited. It is difficult to get a human body because Adruvam means that this body is easy to lose, but from karmic point of view, it is difficult to get a human body. I mean, for the soul, much easier to get some animal body. Therefore, a human, civilization is much less than animal, we can say, society. There are so many insects, so many animals, but people are less. And thanks God, these insects and animals are small in measurement. For example, if you multiply body of ant, it will take about, if you make ant body bigger, maybe, 10 times. It will take about maybe half a year that they will subdue all the surface of this planet. They will eat us and anything else. So our body is very easy to lose, and our body, human body, is very difficult to get from karmic point of view. The soul should, go through a long path of evolution, migrating from lower forms of life to higher forms of life to get human body. And yet it's very easy to lose. You spend thousands of lifetimes to get human body. And then it's easy to lose. And you can see that people not value this body. They drink everything, they can eat everything they can, they do so many foolish things. Veda said that in Kali Yuga you can live for 100 years, 120 years. It's a warranty, for your human body. But usually we live about 70, 80 years because we are so foolish. We are smoking, drinking, and so on and so on. And we lose this very valuable form of life, human form of life. However, on the other hand, the human body is easy to lose because it's very vulnerable. So it's hard to get and easy to lose. Sanskrit word, this is from one point, and the word arthadam. Arthadam means something very valuable and important, something that can bring great benefit. So human body is, from one point of view, adruvam, it's very easy to lose. And from another point of view, simultaneously, arthadam, human body can give you something very valuable. Something very valuable. So human body can give you great benefits. This means that human body, subtle and gross human body, subtle I mean psychologically, I mean consciousness, mind and so on, intelligence, and gross body, it's this whatever you see in the mirror in the morning. So the human body has a unique set of properties and qualities that allow the soul within the body to develop this interest in the absolute truth. There is no other body in this planet that give you this opportunity to understand absolute truth. Dogs can do this. Ants can do this. Only in human body we can ask, is there God or not? Is there anything beyond us? No. Nobody. There is no other form of life in this planet, on Earth planet. So only this body, human body, have this set of properties and qualities that allow you to ask these questions, spiritual questions. It's only natural for a person to be interested in something, for a human I mean. Only human can be interested in something that goes beyond his usual sensory experience. We call it imagination. We can imagine something we don't see before. We can imagine something we don't have right now. Only human can do this. We can reflect on what we don't know yet. We can think about what we don't know yet and what we don't have yet. Imagination, yeah. And we can think and we can reflect what we haven't experienced yet. Sometimes it causes great anxiety. We worry about problems that don't exist yet and that may not happen in the future. Yeah, what will happen? Yeah. My wife like that. I always told her, you worried twice, you worried before, in the time, and after. you worried before problem, during the problem, and after problem. Actually, animals can do that. Interesting point. Animals can do that. For example, zebra worries about the lion only when lion chases her. Not before and not after. Therefore, usually animals can't have psychological problems. Oh, I'm in a depression, I'm a depressed zebra. The lions can eat me. What can I do? No, they just lived, their normal life. And when they saw the lion chases them, yeah, they run away. Not earlier, not after. The lion can, lay down before zebra, and zebra will not worry about it because it's not problem yet. That's the psychology of animals. But we have this, we have these opportunities. We have imagination. There are, and scientists attribute this ability to the highest functions of psychology, inherited only by man. We can imagine. We can think about something we don't experience it yet. That's the unique possession of human. And there are two examples of the use of these higher functions, science and religion. Both science and true religion are based on the same principles. First, there is a hypothesis or assumption. Yeah, is there anyone who have scientific, how to say, set of mind? For example, I have a higher education and I have my diploma work in psychology about how Krishna consciousness help one to deal with depression and some other psychological problem. And actually, my we can say assumption was that if you chant Hare Krishna and if you follow Hare Krishna way of life, you will be much less, tend to depression or something like that. This was my assumption. And then you should have an experiment that conduced, then you should have some experiment that confirms or refutes the theory. So I have some, number of tests, psychological tests. I give it to the devotees. And actually, my experiment confirmed my assumption. Yeah, really, devotees are much less, tends to depression or psychological problem. Good for us. Yeah, that's good news. Once again, science and true religion, they both use the same way of thinking. Yeah, first you have an assumption, and then you should have an experiment. First, you read Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada wrote, then you should chant Hare Krishna, and you will feel happiness. Okay, I will try. I will do some experiment. For 30 years, I do this experiment for myself. It's working, actually. Somehow or other, it's working. And good food also working. Food and mood of goodness. I mean, vegetarian food that offered to the Lord, to the deities. It's also working. Very interesting point. And so I have assumption, then I produce some experiment, and this experiment, in my case, confirms my assumption. All of this is possible thanks to a highly developed human intelligence. We have imagination, and we have this ability to make assumption, and then to do some tests, to do some research work. Is my assumption right or wrong? Only human can do this, thanks to developed intelligence. So animals have another developed thing, clothes and things like that. We have only intelligence. If we take out intelligence from a human, and compare it to the animals, we don't have any chances. They will eat us. They will, I don't know, in a week, like that. But we have this developed human intelligence. It is the intelligence that is the main wealth or artha of human beings. Arthada, you remember Srimad Bhagavatam call us our body arthada. Human body gives to the soul some unique artha, some unique benefit. And this unique benefit that given to us by nature, by God, is intelligence. Very highly developed intelligence. I mean, in comparison to animal. The intelligence is our main strength, our main protection, and our main tool in life. Intelligence, yeah. Therefore, it is not surprising that someone who does not know how to use his intelligence turns into an animal, and act like an animal, based only on animal instincts. Actually, we can see the people like that. They do not develop their intelligence, and therefore we can say they act like an animal. Only eat, only sleep, only mating, only defending. Only these four things, actually. If you act on these four principles, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, you know better than animal. That's what the Vedas said. You know better. Yeah, you do it, but by other ways, you know. If dogs sleep in the corner, you sleep, you know, in the bed. But principle is the same. You running car, dogs running, you know, four legs. Principle is the same. Therefore, destination is the same. Destination is the same. We will get animal civilization if we don't use our human intelligence, I mean, in proper way. This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we read today, describes a situation in which a person uses his intelligence only for sense gratification and not for comprehension of the absolute truth. The desire to satisfy senses plays a, we can say, cruel joke with the living beings, living entities. It's become a goal. If the goal of life becomes the satisfaction of the senses, and actually we can see right now it's like that, it's propagating like that. Just, you know, enjoying. Every advertisement, you should just enjoy, no problem. That's the goal of life. Just enjoy. You have the senses, enjoy them. Whatever you like, you can do it. No rules. We can see that even sometimes even religious persons right now do not pronounce this word, sin, because it's very unpopular. You can do whatever you like, they say. It's very foolish, actually. Yeah, if I can do whatever I like, can I, you know, drink gasoline? I can do whatever I like. No. You will be foolish if you drink gasoline. You can do it, no problem. But what about consequences? Now you can see how they make people foolish. You can't do whatever you like. That's the problem. You just can't, because there will be consequences. The only situation when you can do whatever you like is that you don't intelligent enough to imagine consequences of these deeds. That's the problem. So if the goal of life becomes the satisfaction of senses, then we stop thinking about the consequences of our actions. Simple logic. And we can say, civilization of foolish people. They don't think about tomorrow, day after tomorrow. It's okay for children. Children, when you know your child 10 years old, he just can't think about future. Can't. Psychologists say it like that. He don't think, you know, after 1 year I will be like that, I will get this job and so on. No. He think I should be, you know, cosmonaut. I will go to the cosmos. That's his future. I mean, children can't, you know, realistically think about their future. For them, future is like fantasy. That's normal for them. But now we have the whole civilization, people like that. People after 40, 50 think like that sometimes. Very interesting point. For the sake of sense gratification, if the sense gratification is the goal of life, we can commit various sins, because sense gratification is the goal of life, and for the sake of the purpose of life, I can sacrifice anything and I can do anything. That is the logic of sin. This is goal of life, and to achieve the goal of life, I can do whatever I like. I can do whatever needed. That is the logic of sinful activities. And this is well stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, another place in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, 4th verse. Very famous verse actually. Nunam pramata kurute vikarma yatindriya pritaya prinoti. Nasadu manye yata atmanoyam asana ikleshada asadeha. Translation. When a person considers self-gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on material body, but he has been awarded by material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. So in an effort to satisfy all our desires, to gratify our senses, we commit all kinds of unseemly or sinful acts. We accumulate a lot of things that should be, that should help us to, satisfy senses. However, at the moment of the death, we simply will not be able to take all these things with us. Yeah. Egyptians, try to do this. Egypt, these pharaohs, these lords of Egypt, when he died, he tried to take all his servants with him, horses, monies, and everything like that, but it's impossible. You can't take anything with you. There was Alexander the Great, and there is a story that when he's dying, he ordered that you should show me to the people, like that, naked like that. You see, I came to this world naked and without nothing. And I came out from this world also naked and without nothing. Yeah, maybe I conquer all these countries, but actually I cannot take it with me. What is the use? We cannot take all the things with us. Yeah, we commit lots of sins, lots of unlawful activities for that, for sense gratification. But sense gratification passed. You cannot gratify senses for a long time. And all this thing, you will, leave it here. You won't take it with you. But there is one thing that will be with us after that. Consequences for the actions, for all the actions. We will have it, with us. We will take it with us after we will leave this body. Therefore, an intelligent person should strive for committing these pious activities, spiritual life, to accumulate these consequences, good consequences. And we should be intelligent enough to understand what consequences we don't need, we don't want to accumulate. And then we should understand what acts, what deeds we shouldn't do, we shouldn't commit, and reject it. That's mean intelligence. That's for this intelligence we have. To understand what is the difference, what should we do, and what consequences we will get from these actions. Therefore, we have a Vedas. Vedas describe how to act piously and accumulate consequences that we need. Hare Krishna, maybe there is some question or comments, please. Yep.
I don't know if I would elaborate this. There's a question like, for example, in India, there are still families who, like couples, they try to sustain their relationship, but because of now people are also coping the rest, they are getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And even if one of the family members, one of the couple wants to enter into the spiritual life from this materialistic life, then it is considered, it is said, like normally, like he is facing more than before entering into the spiritual life, because people who are in materialistic life, they say those who are in the spiritual life, they don't have any emotions. They are acting in a similar, constantly in a similar kind of mood. No happiness, no sadness, and and they started pointing them like you are just going bad and silly, and then they get divorced. So what do you say, like if a woman gets divorced and how she will be going with the children, and it's going to be more frustrating for her.
Mm-hmm.
So how she's going to handle this situation, because she is now becoming more spiritual, and then suddenly because of her switching from materialistic life to spiritual life, it became a big change in her life.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes there is some illusion in a woman's mind that if I will get, if I will be married and with children, I will be happy. That's his illusion. You may have children, you may have wife or husband, or you may not. You may be unhappy or happy. Yeah, by karma, somehow or other, the people get divorced. What to do? You should step over. You should go further. If you take spiritual knowledge, if you take spiritual practice, I would advise to wait for a couple of years before some new relationships, new families, and so on. I will advise like that. And maybe after some years, another family will be created. If the person feel this frustrated, have these frustrated feelings, sometimes there's a need for, I don't know, maybe this person should associate with good psychologist, maybe just for understand where I am, where should I go to, like that, or with have a consultation with very good devotee, mature devotee, family devotee, like that, and this devotee can give good advice. Yeah, it does happen. What to do? It's one of the famous sayings of my spiritual master. Sometimes I told him about something very, ambiguous, very big difficulties, but always he told me, that's happening. Just continue your spiritual life. Husband doesn't give happiness. Wife doesn't give happiness. Relationships bring happiness. Not husband, not wife. Relationships. If you get Krishna in your relationships, you will be happy. If there is a service attitude, if we consider our wife or husband a devotee and try to serve him, and inspiring him, that will bring happiness in family life. So sometimes, in materialistic family life, we can do that. Therefore, people became diverse. We hope that in next family life, this person will be successful applying this principle for spiritual life. But what to do? That's happened. What can you do? I don't know if this is answer or not.
It's true, like this because of sometimes karma. If we are facing it and tolerating the situation silently and disputing in the Krishna consciousness, then our further karma will be mitigated. Definitely, we have to consider it in Krishna wish.
Mhm. The thing is, sometimes, yeah, when we have a problem, the devotees around told us, oh, well, you should tolerate it, just take it as Krishna's will or karma. But if you don't have a real understanding of what's happening, you may not, get rid of these bad feelings. So therefore, I told you should go to mature devotee, because this is your karma, is just the way to get rid of you. With all these, uneasy questions. For some devotees, I'm a senior devotee, and I just see this tendency in my mind. When devotee came to me and he have a problem and he tried to, he asked for my help, and sometimes my mind told me, just tell him that this is his karma, and that's all. You have your own problem. So sometimes devotee told you that this is your karma, Krishna's will. Actually, they mean, I have my own problem. Go and deal it with yourself, like that. But mature devotee will never say it like that. He will try to help you in your situation. Try to give advice to you in your situation. That's a senior devotee. And actually, it's very rare to find it. devotee like that. With compassion, and experience. But if you find devotee like that, you're a very happy person. Then you really get help. So I would advise to devotee like that, in divorced and he became a devotee and in some kind of, unsteady position. I will advise him to go to such a, senior devotee, experienced devotee. And this experienced devotee will explain him what is the problem and how you can solve it. And he will be with this devotee for some times to see if there is a positive dynamic in his life, if his advice is really working. That's help. But this word, this is your karma, no problem, it doesn't work for so many times. Yeah, there should be senior devotee like that, experienced devotee like that, who really can help. For example, Rupa Goswami, very great devotee. Sometimes Vrijabhasi came to him, some man came to him and he told to Rupa Goswami, I asked my wife, give me 6 chapati, and she always give me 4. What to do, she hate me or what? Should we divorce? And Rupa Goswami speak with this person, then call his wife, speak with them together, and everything was solved, and Vijayabhasi was happy and continue their service. And sometimes, we should do like that. Bhakti-Vibhav Maharaj once told me that in my laptop, he said, I have a 2 GB of books about psychology, because disciples came to me and asking questions about family life, how to deal with it, and how to solve the problems, conflicts, and what to do. And I can't tell him just chant Hare Krishna, because I know it will not work. There should be some practical thing that I should give to them like that. Mataji, you have a hand here.
I just thinking about
What is the difference between human and animals? So
Prabhu,
the one
Arati is
Oh.
about to start.
Okay,
It's
1 minute and Arati, okay? Thank you. Mhm.
I just think that the difference between human and animal is some kind of love and compassion, but human kindness can do differently than that. I think it's quite a basic question,
Mhm.
actually. You want to live like a human being, so
It's not easy to be a human being. Sometimes, you should become a human being. Okay, thank you. We have Arati right now.